Mm, I don't know how to run this thing, but let's see if I want to do this. Do it right this time. All right. Do. I don't know how I set this up. Not bad. Hi. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't know why this thing is on slow mode or any of that, but it is, and I don't know how that's gonna work. I think we're gonna have to roll with it. Yeah, there's too many steps to go through. Hi, thank you for joining. So yeah, I don't know what I did when I set this thing, and sometimes this thing has a habit of setting itself. So the comments may be delayed. I don't know. Send a message. This says send a message, so maybe it's just me that's doing this because it seemed like, okay, two people send at the same time. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, that is electronics for you. Then I just lost my notepad. Oh, here it is down here. All right, so I am going to address this question that you left earlier. My message says slow mode is on. Yeah. I don't know, but like I said, it seems like they're coming in, so I don't know if it. I think what that is what a lot of people can't figure out in the chats. I'm fine. I'm able to keep up with the messages because the more people in the chat, the faster the comments will scroll through. I'm able to catch them and scroll back. Some people don't know how to scroll back up to read the comments. So either way, but I think that's what I enabled on accident or the thing set when I set the chat. So um, yeah. All right. So a whole lot has gone on since I left this morning. I just didn't know if I was going to come back, but yeah, if anybody was interested, and I know some people are able to watch in the morning, some people are able to watch in the evening, and it's just hard to kind of catch everybody. So I try to even it out, to be fair, because a lot of you all love the live chats. That seems to be my response is very high according to my stats. Those are the most engaging. So yeah. All right, and it's almost dark, so I'm not going to be on here too long. But like I said, a lot has gone on um, since this morning. We got into some schoolwork because we had kind of relaxed since everybody was not feeling well this week. I eased up on the routine, and so we got into that. And what else did we do? Oh, I recorded I had some lively footage. I don't know. I couldn't go live because of the nature of it. But you guys know from this morning, I talked about the my desktop and the issue with my desktop. And so, yeah, it was pulled apart. And I'm gonna have to stop. Help the child in the restroom. But it was pulled apart, and the power supply was the part in question. I don't know if you guys picked up. I think probably about early fall, I shared a video. I was cleaning out the keyboard, and some people may have taken to it. Some people may not have. Good evening. But I was doing it because what I said, a lot of times illness passes around, especially during the fall and winter months, and you keep passing it around. Be careful of the things that you touch, just like when you go in the grocery store, the shopping cart. You want to wipe that stuff down, the keyboard. And so he's got this, got my desktop over there on the table and pulled the thing apart. And of course, it's going to be a mess. But the thing is, this one is newer than the one that I had before we took one apart. When we opened the shell, it wasn't as bad. This one, I think because it's under this AC. Hold that. Under the AC. I'm coming. Because it's sitting under the AC, the we came to the conclusion, which I knew the dust is in it, but that's just this time when he built this one, he made sure to put enough fans in it. And so, like I said, I vlogged a lot of this, so you'll be able to see what I was talking about, the nature of computers and laptops and things like that. But you get to see why this stuff costs so much, and why it couldn't cost as much if you know what you're doing. So hopefully somebody understand how not to get railroaded by the IT consultant. So you're getting some free advice, okay? Um, and he was telling me that the computer, I don't know if I caught that, but he said it wasn't as bad as some of them because he works for the state, so um, a lot of them are bad. But the dust on the floor, I had a blanket down, and it was a mess. And it was funny because I talk about having pipe cleaners. I don't like those little things, and I keep them around. We can do all sorts of things with them in homeschool. And then finally he said, where are the pipe cleaners? And I'm like, pipe cleaners? What you need a pipe cleaner for? Duh, pipe cleaner. It was crazy in here. And the kids were in here. We had to get them out of here because it was dust everywhere. But yeah. So what happened? All right, the part came out. He put the new part in and did not close it, but came over here to power it. And there was juice in it. He didn't have it's a machine that the little gauger that they use. But he could tell that there was power in it, but it didn't come on. So I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? So I unplugged the power cord from the other computer, and we used that just to see, and it didn't come on. So I'm like, what? And he said, you know what, this leads me to believe, even with all the dust, it probably, that is a factor. You'll hear all that in the vlog. Dust can clog up a system, just like I told you about the keyboard. It'll clog up the keyboard, and then it won't work right. You won't be able to push the keys right. He said, I don't think the power supply was bad because I have some amp in it. And so I'm like, because we saw it jump. So the motherboard, it's the motherboard. So what happened was, I said, okay, Could this be from the other day? What happened? What's wrong with you? Oh, you're going to have to wait. Go talk to your dad. He'll give it to you. Go talk to it. He'll give it to you, okay? Chill out. He told you to. Okay, well, just wait till I finish with this, okay? I'm not going to be on here long. We had somebody over here replacing something, and they ended up going out to the circuit breaker. I didn't know it at the time. I think my computer was on. The other one was off. But he didn't tell me that he was even going to the circuit breaker. It was the oven. So I had no clue that, okay, that was going to happen. I found the button up, so you found the button. The power, we lost power on this side of the house, and you won't know this side of the house is an addition. Thank you. No, you won't, but it is getting cold out there. So, hi. You know, he said, okay, what happened? And I said, well, that, you know, the lights just went off. And then I had to tell him, hey, you know, you turned off the power on this side of the house. So, you know, we got the power back on. But, and like I said, the other computer was off. It was powered off. It was shut down completely. And so he said, well, when did this happen? And I said, this was just the other day, because he wasn't here. This was what, like a couple days ago. And he said, yeah, that fried that motherboard. And I'm like, are you serious? He said, yeah, you might not have noticed right away. You can put it in there for 30 seconds. He said the effects you might not notice right away. He said, but right when you got the power back on, it could have, depending on, you know, whatever, the power going to it, it might not have power back up on then. But he said this has been, you know, short-lived. It's only been a couple days. He said, I bet that's what happened. So I'm like, ain't that about it? You know, and I always make sure when I have, you know, if you're working with the lights or you're working with whatever, let me know. If there's a storm or whatever, let me know. You know, I go and shut down everything, unplug everything, because I don't want any kind of currents flowing anywhere. So, but he said, yeah, like, you know, like I was telling you guys earlier, nothing's wrong with the content or hard drive or anything like that. And there's no point in taking the hard drive out, putting it in the other one just temporarily. It's just that my content is on that hard drive. So I don't know if I'm going to load my editing software on my laptop just to put that up and, you know, put up some vlogs, or I'm just going to keep going live and just hold on to that. But I don't know. I got to find another memory card for the camera. I'm going to find my backup. So I might just have to do it anyway, because then I have to have somewhere to store that content, because I won't be able to vlog with the camera. So that's another problem. But I just probably tomorrow I'll sit down and work on all of that, because there's nothing we can do right now to get a new motherboard. So yeah. But I am so glad I don't have to pay for all this. But he was telling me that I asked how much it would cost to fix the power supply, and he said something like this would probably run you like $60 an hour. And he said if it was a student, you know, they might charge you $30. And, you know, that's on top of the consultation. So, yeah. And now a motherboard, that's a whole nother part. So, it's just, man, it's a lot. I got him to talk about laptops, but the same thing I told you guys this morning about the laptops and the screens, you know. It didn't work. Okay, well, go, you know what? Go have a seat. Have a seat and wait. They have businesses that will tell you they can replace the screen. This is stuck. Okay, you left it in there too long. So you're just going to have to wait, okay? You're going to have to wait. I'll make you another one. Because that's their business. They're going to sell you anything because they're going to make money. But the damage is inside of the, not the screen, it's the rest of it. And then you'll notice that the thing is slow, it's lagging, it won't power on. That's all the result of it being dropped, whether it's on carpet, on, the regular floor, whether it, didn't fall from far. If it falls, you have to replace it. You can't, you can get it to power on, but it's not going to last that much longer. So I'm just thankful that we, inside tip, and I don't have to go out of the house and get this mess outsourced, because, man, stuff like this is just, that's why I pay attention. I pay attention and try to learn what I can when I have any kind of work done, so that I can try to fix it myself. Sorry about your computer. Yeah, no, that's just, yeah. It's not as bad. It's bad, but, a little setback. I'm okay. I have something. But, yeah, it's a setback. For those of you that don't have it, or, and you need it, I totally understand that. It's another reason why I won't load all my stuff on a laptop, because a laptop is very fragile. If it's broken, it's gone. You can't get your stuff back. So this one stays clean. I don't put anything on here that I know I might lose. Even when I write, I have to back that stuff up, because if something happens to it, I've lost all of my content. Yeah. Sometimes you live and learn. It wasn't always like that, but I trust the I trust the advice that from somebody that does this for a living, and from the state, because you got to know something to work for the state. You talking about the whole state. You working on the network, so you have to know something. But yeah, we had to go, some rounds and rounds of me wanting to buy this, and why I can't get this, and I don't see why, because it's cheaper. So basically he's saying, by the time you put the money, if you're doing a laptop, you put the money into it, you might as well just go buy another one. It's just, yeah. True, I had a screen replaced on the tablet. Paid $100 for a crack because I didn't want to cut finger. The sound went out 2 days later and then started showing pixel black look. Yeah. Unfortunately, teenager. Just went through 2 laptops. I'm telling y'all, November, December. You see why I don't have one. And it just, it was an accident. And it wasn't my call. I said, you know what, don't go replace the screen. Go buy another one. Her dad didn't want to buy another one. Replace the screen. She got to, because you get to using the thing and it gets hot. These things get hot. You don't want them sitting on your lap. You don't want them on all the time, because they get hot, just like cell phones. So what happened was, the longer you use it, the more it's going to get hot. And there's no fans in these things like desktops, because we were talking about that, how he put so many fans in the desktop to offset some of that dust. I think it's 3 fans in there. He said I could put a couple more, but the fans in here are very small, and obviously because they're enclosed, the dust is not going anywhere. Dust gets in laptops, but these screens get hot, and that's what cracks the screens. So she had to get another laptop, like back to back. And it's like, girl, we can't keep doing this. You're getting ready to graduate. The next one is on you. So, let's see, what does it say? My husband fixes all our electronics or breaks it further. Yeah, if he breaks, I'm like, it's on. I don't even have to worry. I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry at all. It's like, fix it. Automatic updates destroyed my 10 months old laptop. I have my book I have been working on for 18 years on it. Okay. I have been working for 18 years on it. Thank God. I had saved it elsewhere. Yeah, you have to back your stuff up. You have to back it up constantly, because the stuff goes and you don't know. And if you don't know anything about electronics, it could be the smallest little thing, that causes the problem, and they're going to charge you whatever because you don't know anything. Can we go to Walter's? Oh, you're going to have to wait a bit because it's getting a little cold. So, yeah, it's better to replace them. But he was showing me, so, you'll be able to look, in the computer and just see. Like you said, my computer was not that bad, but we did notice that this one was worse than the other one, and the other one was actually older. It had been opened up. I can't remember. I remember opening it up and cleaning it, and it wasn't that bad. Even it had been an extended period, but this one was bad. And so I talked about reconfiguring the room. I'm going to move my position away from the AC anyway, and see if that'll help, so it's not so dusty inside. But ew, that's why I don't like using stuff, because it just gets dirty. And I was talking about the keyboards, because you guys know I take the thing apart, and he said, well, it's a difference of opinion. Why do that when they're so cheap? You can buy a new one. And I said, well, because I'm not going to do it, but that's how the majority of you all are. You're not going to go replace your keyboard every couple months or when somebody gets sick, because that's just life. You see it as, a waste of money, it's tedious and stuff like that. But he was just saying, yeah, just go buy a new one. When you know it's dirty, toss it out every couple months and go buy a new one. So, ideally, that's what we want to do. I try to fix things. So if another one shows up in the house, I didn't buy it. I'm just like, thank you. I appreciate it, but I don't like to sink money. I don't. He had to, go buy it and just say, here, use it. Because I would not. But I do listen, when it comes to the tips and things like that on what to do. Because preventative, you learn after so many times of putting your money into things that, every little thing that you can do. We don't eat and drink by our devices. We just don't do that. Those are little, things that I see a lot of people doing it. Even with these kids and these tablets, they're sitting at the breakfast table with the tablet, got the cereal and the juice, and I'm just like, oh, that's just an accident waiting to happen. So, yeah, I can't. He said to buy the extended warranty with the thing. The collision warranty. If you're buying the stuff out the store, buy collision warranty. So, and then that's another thing. A lot of people do not want to invest in that because it's going to set you back. You had a number that in mind, this is what I want to spend on this thing, and that's all you saved. And catastrophic, that's what he was saying, catastrophic, issues, and then what? You go, oh, well, they said they can fix it for $100, so let me just do this. In the long run, you would have been cheaper doing it, It's kind of what I was talking about this morning about the, buying the homes and the insurance and the things that you really have to think about. I don't know, somebody might have picked up on the thing I said about the grass when I said I wanted AstroTurf. You know why? Because if you rent and you're not in charge of yard maintenance, guess what? You own a home, you have to go buy a lawnmower. Guess what? If you're not used to paying for water, or your water is this much when you own a home, your water bill is going to double. Why? Because you have to maintain your grass. So you have to buy a lawnmower. You got to maintain your grass. Now you're going to Home Depot. Fortunately, Home Depot was across the way for us, but you're going to Home Depot buying all kinds of stuff. If you don't know about planting flowers and weeds and all of that, you will learn that in buying a home. So you're not just buying a home, you're stepping into a whole new world. If you don't want to do any of that, guess what? You have to pay somebody to do all of that. When it got too much, when I had to work, allergies and all of that, I didn't want to be out there in my flower beds. I called the people. They didn't tend my flower beds, but They did the yards for me, cut the yard, you know. The lawnmower is going to sit, but people do not think about those little bitty details. They really make a difference. Um, AstroTurf, there is no watering, but they cannot legally let me do that. I had to have sod laid, and we had a huge yard. Okay, we had a huge yard, so I just called the people because we were both too busy. Hi, to stay out there, and so they come and cut the stuff up for me every couple of weeks, and yeah. Okay, so you don't want to hire anybody, you go buy a lawnmower. Guess what? If the lawnmower break down, guess what? So it's so many different factors, and I'm not saying it to be mean or cruel or discourage anybody, but things really hit the fan. No pun intended, but they hit the fan when you least expect it. Because you're going to get in that house, everything's going to be great. You want to go buy your furniture, guess what? Your car going to break down. That's what happens. That's the Father, okay? But it's just a test. You can, it's a test, but that's what happens. I'm telling you. Things happen. You get in that house, somebody lose their job. Ooh, that's a big one. It happens. It happens. I know somebody, a YouTuber, they bought a house and built another house, and they weren't even in that house, had just barely closed. They weren't in that house 30 days. Somebody lost their job. And I was like, ooh, ouch. That had to have hurt. So, yeah. It just, it used to be, I think they used to tell us you need to have, I want to say 6 to 12 months worth of income, your yearly income in the bank. Nowadays, you need more than that. You need straight up a flat year of income, net in the bank. And shoot, really, I tell you, gross, because you know unemployment is crazy and people don't care about you. So if you can't, that's why I said it's not feasible to try to say you want to go out and uh, take on a job to help your spouse, and because you're not going to be bringing that money home. You're going to be putting more money out once you think about it. I want to move into a tiny house so bad. I need maybe 600 square feet. That's it. I'm not greedy and not too much. Exactly. That's the way to do it. That's how you have to do it. I will say we moved out of a 32 square foot home into a tiny house, 800 square feet, and we love it. As a family of 5, our family bought every house on the street, 6 houses. Wow. Girl, that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. You got to, downsize and quit thinking you need all of that stuff. I live very, I have as little as I need, just bare minimum stuff. I don't need all the stuff. It's too much. I improvise a lot. I might not have what I used to have, but I improvise so much. If somebody is worried about what I have, let me send you my PayPal. You can, you know, I don't judge people like that. I have no idea. I know it's people on here like that. But I don't judge anybody. I just, I don't know. I'm sitting here with a plastic bowl in front of me. If you got plastic bowl and no glass, I don't care. That's your business. Um, let's see. Faith. Do it, Faith. We are a family of 5, and the square footage includes a basement. Wow. Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I looked at Atlanta, because we don't have basements here. Yeah, 3 and done. Ooh, that's what I always dreamed of. Hey, Hans. Hey, Sylvia. I think it's like 6 months, but I say at least a year too. Faith Family Fun Academy says I'm saving up now for it. Girl, go for it. Oh, you know what? I had to think about it. I stand corrected. I said, I was not wrong. Sylvia, I was telling you about, you said D.R. Horton. D.R. Horton is good. It wasn't a D.R. Horton home that we had. It was Milburn. Milburn turned D.R. Horton. But yeah, one of the homes was a Milburn home that we bought. So still good, reputable. But yeah. Um, I had a lot of friends that bought Milburn turned D.R. Horton. Oh, when I say my family, I mean we live in a family cul-de-sac. My mother-in-law, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Your mother-in-law, your grandmother, your sister, we all live next to each other. We each own a house. That's what I was thinking you were saying. I'm glad you rectified that, but that I got it. And that's what we did down in the country. My dad, we have all that land, and it's enough room for everybody to build a house if they want a house. Some of them are mobile homes. Some of them, everybody has a piece of land. My dad has a lot of brothers, and everybody has land, but there's enough room on one person's land. It's enough acreage so everybody can have a house. It can be a compound if we needed to. So I get that. Yeah, that is a smart way to go. Yeah, a very smart way to go. That's what you pool your resources and buy, so everybody, hi mommy, share space, everybody can get a piece of something. Don't fight over it, hold on to it. And everybody have their own little space. These, in a lot of other cultures, that's what they do, that's how they live, and it works just fine. But us, it's like you can't tell, I want my own, no. We know not to sell the land to anybody. Same land we had to work, and you hear that a lot. If you go back and talk to older people, the same land we had to work. And I don't want to say that word, but the plantation owner sold us this piece of land. You better hold on to it. Hold on to it. I just moved out my house and I couldn't afford the maintenance, Shari Nicole. Exactly. That's what a lot of people have done. The maintenance. They find that the maintenance. That's why I was really stressing that. You have to be aware of what you're really stepping into, because you don't really factor in all those things. Another thing I want to point out, the last house I built, you may or may not, if you watch the tour, I think I pointed out probably a couple. And I said a bay window, that it was 3 windows. That house had 18 windows in it. Yeah, I have some nice light and all that. But guess what? HOA, you have to have those windows covered. The last house we had them custom, the blinds custom built, so it was included. That was one of the incentives. This one, it didn't. HOA says your windows have to be covered a certain standard. You can't be leaving the paper blinds up, forever. And me, I don't care. I don't care. But 18 windows, so you got to get blinds on the windows. And we're not doing the cheap Walmart, the little vinyl, whatever, wherever you can get that mess. We're not doing that, because the kids gonna tear them up anyway. If I do that, I'd rather get the paper old school shade that you just roll up in grandma's house. I get one of them. So yeah, we had to outfit those windows. Now I did. Some of them were so high it didn't matter. They weren't regulation cover, but in the bedrooms they were. So we had to actually cover them, even though our elevation was high and people couldn't see in them. By HOA, we had to cover them. So I had to get window treatments. I still didn't go with blinds because I could not decide, wood blinds in itself are expensive. And to get that many, we still needed at least 16 of them. That's a lot of money. And so those are things that you have to have right away. You can't go get that stuff on credit, because you can't get it until after you get in the house. You can't, no more debt. The one thing I did when we were at closing, the Lowe's was across the street. For some reason, we had to wait for something, the paperwork to come through or something. Right across the street. Let's go over to Lowe's. The first thing I bought, 2 key locks. One for my bedroom door, because, I got to keep the kids out. And the other one for my pantry. I had a huge walk-in pantry. And you got to keep the kids out the food, because now you bought this house and it's costing you a lot. And so you got to monitor that food, because, you can't put all that money into food like you used to, because you got to pay for this big house. So, no, I wasn't starving the kids, but y'all get the point. Yeah, that was the only thing I did. Went and got some locks and put on them doors. And yeah, it's so many little things. We had to have a water softener. If you know anything about Texas, Texas has hard water, so water softener. You got to have a water softener. Most the homes are built with them looped in, and them suckers run you about $1,500 or so. And salt, you got to get the salt. I talked about the other day about doing the kids' hair. I would do the neighborhood hair, the girls' hair, and I wouldn't charge them a lot. Just, bring me some money to go get supplies. You know what else I did? You know what? When you go to Home Depot, you pass Home Depot, you don't even have to bring me the hair money. Toss me a bag of salt on the porch. So, we learned how to bargain in the neighborhood among friends, because I need salt for the water softener. My ex builds DR Horton Homes. Oh, wow. In North Carolina and South Carolina. We built a tiny home. We have 7 kids. This is Collins Clan. 4 still at home. 6 of us are in a 16 by 28 home. I vlogged a few videos to show our progress. We definitely live little. And you know what? I've been on your channel. Yeah, I've seen that. 3 and Done. I will check out the Collins Clan. Yeah, I've been over there, because I'm in that tiny home stuff. Yeah, I like that stuff. Hi, Vicky.
Do you know
what?
Tell me to get your flashlight so I can show you.
For what? What am I looking at?
Look, you see that little thing?
Oh.
You know what it is?
What?
That.
What is it? A dragonfly? Yeah, I see it.
That's cute.
Yeah, I think it's time for y'all to come in, because it is getting cold. It's cold in here. Mama share space. California says California is so expensive. Home buying or building is hard right now. We're just preparing. Sad to say, but these prices are so high, it's hard to believe will be sustainable in the long run. Yeah, it's not. It's not. The economy is steadily failing, and it's not going to be. And the thing is, the correlation between you have to wait. Home buying, food, and things like that. It's just a
what was that show we were watching?
What do you call this? Depopulation.
What show? The show we were watching on my dad's.
Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Layla, go in there for a minute. They're trying to depopulize us. Bad food cause all the health problems. The country itself is just, we are going to explode. So they're trying to wipe out as many people as they can. Okay? It's crazy. It is so crazy. Stuff is, people are going to be on the street, literally.
I want to come in.
Okay.
Can we play out
for a few minutes? Few minutes, because like I said, it's getting colder and it's getting dark. You only have a few minutes. But yeah, it's sad, jacking up stuff left and right. Rents are steady going up, and people are not taking care of these places. And so it's like, where do we go? Where do we go? Vicky says, "Oh hi, how have you been? Been set free? Are you still sewing, Vicky?" Vicky said, "Very well, and you?" All right, let me go back to this question. Well, I have this person in here off topic, but you guys keep talking. Let me go back to this. It was do things in. This is from A Blackwell this morning. We were talking about homeschooling, and I know I said I would throw this in the comment, but we can kind of move it. Move this chat around. She wanted to know about doing things in proper order, and especially when using, not using a complete curriculum set. When I say to that, what is proper order? What do you think proper order is? I can't type messages. Okay. Vicky says she can't type messages, so she's just listening. But she's well. So, proper order, there really is, you can comment back to my question, but there's no proper order. Everybody has different agenda, again, going back to different reasons why they homeschool, period. Some people are homeschooling to fact teach their children, something that I do not do. They're trying to fit every little thing, teach them every little thing. I do not do that. I don't even teach my kids. I tell you guys that all the time. The only thing I teach them is how to learn. They need to be able to find the information on their own. I show them where to look, how to look for the information, because you cannot teach a child that does not want to learn, really, you can't teach anybody anything. They have to be willing. Of course, they're willing to an extent, but just because you're trying to teach it to them, who says that they want to learn that? And that's where the pullback comes from. So if you change your mindset with that, shift the paradigm, you'll get a better response. They don't need to know all of the 50, all the presidents. They don't need to know all of the capitals, the states. They don't need to know all of that. There are certain things your state will tell you that this is what you should be teaching them. You teach to those standards, but you don't have to sit down and make sure they know every single detail about the Roman Empire and the Greeks and the this and the that. You'll be there all day and it will drive you crazy. Like I said, I can give them a book and say, go read this. If you have some questions, run it back to me. I'm not going to sit there and do that. As far as order, you follow your state guidelines. I know there's this popular book, and I have shared these books and referenced them, especially in getting started. It's the What Your Child Needs to Know. Those are books. Those are not commandments. I don't use those books like that. I use them outside of the grade level. Remember I told you guys the 6th grade one. That's the one I was missing in the hall along with the cricket in Times Square. And the only reason why I wanted that one is because I want to be able to sell the set complete. I have all of them. So I want to sell the whole set. It's not to say that I'm going to use that book. I just want to sell the whole set. It looks better when you get ready to sell it. So I use those books like a tool. It's not my child needs to know this, because every child is different. Somebody on here may have a 4-year-old that cannot read, that cannot write. That's okay. I have a 4-year-old that can read and can write. So there's no proper order to do anything. It's according to what your child is capable of. Okay, there are things that I see people pushing these children up higher in grade levels, and they haven't mastered certain skills, or they haven't even shown. I'm very curious to see what deemed that child ready to move on, to go up in grade level. I don't know. Say you have okay, I have a 4-year-old, and I'm saying she's first grade. Okay. Now, legally, she's not even in school. So I can tell you guys that all day long. I'm not going to front. She does first grade work because she's capable of doing that. Is the child mentally ready to do all that? You have to consider all those things. When you're moving your child up, why are you moving it up? Because you're moving that child up because you saw somebody have a 6-year-old that they just put in the 2nd grade or in the 3rd grade, and your child is older than that. Oh, I need to move my child up. Is your child capable of handling that? Because, once they get to the 3rd grade, you're moving back. Things change. They become more independent. They should be, and you shouldn't have to sit there next to them and do things. They get up in the morning, they get their books, and they get going. You shouldn't have to spoon feed every little subject to them. If they're not capable of doing that, you don't put them up just because so-and-so child is this grade, this age. You don't do that.
I'm going to show what Tariq's he's not D.
Oh, wow. He did.
You can have these.
I can have these. Oh, thank you very much. So, let me go back to, I'm going to read these comments. A Blackwell says, thank you, like states and capitals before world countries. There's no, what did I do? We did a mixture. Now, as far, we're not even regulated to teach geography. My kids like geography. I like geography. So it's there. It's very important because our geography kind of goes hand in hand with history, and if we read a book and they hear about California, they want to know all about California. So, okay, we're going to learn about California. That's how that works. I just kind of work it in there, and it's not something that we focus on. We are trying to move through the states, but we started with the, they have knowledge. They have little, the little flashcards, and they have this little map thing, electronic, GeoGenius, that I found at Goodwill for $1 or something. They learned that stuff with that. It has facts. It tells them the capital, the birds, all that kind of stuff. They play with that and learned a whole lot, and I have to teach them anything. And so we worked on outside the United States because we live in the United States, and it's easy to learn about that. So we started outside the United States. I started introducing different countries because I want them to have that exposure. The same way I teach them different languages. I want them to understand that not everybody in the world speaks English. You guys know that English is the number one, I want to say, foreign language. If you know how to speak English and you go to another country, people paying top dollar to learn how to speak English. And English is not that common. It's common to us because we speak it, but it's not that common. So, yeah, there's no rhyme or reason. It's just according to what you feel comfortable with. And that's what most parents say. Whatever I feel comfortable teaching. If you don't know anything about Germany, you don't want to do that. But you do want to give them that kind of exposure. You have to have the time to learn about it yourself. So that's why I spend a lot of time in here Um, things that I don't know, I need to present to them. I have to read. I have to read. I have to read to prepare myself because I don't know everything about everything. It just, that's how it is. Um, whatever you feel comfortable with, that's where you start. Same thing with if you're not using a complete curriculum set, take out the parts that you like, take out the parts that fit your style, that you can teach comfortably without having to stress about it's a lot of prep work for me and I don't have the time or I don't understand this. It goes against our faith principles. Use what you need and then the rest you just add in, and they will get it. Children are very smart. They pick up on things. A year later, they may be ready for something that you try to present. Oh, okay. Or something that a book tells you, your child should be learning at this age. That's not always the case. Not all kids learn the same way. Not all kids are ready to, do things. It's a developmental thing, you know. Um, you just, like I say, go as you feel comfortable. I've never used a complete curriculum set. I would say that. I would say look up what your state requires so that you have a better understanding of what is expected for that particular grade. Exactly, 3 and done. Yeah, you have to go to HSLDA, go to your state education page, and for us, TEA is our go to, and that's where the requirements are. We're required to teach reading, writing, grammar, no, reading, grammar, spelling, math, not social, citizenship, good citizenship. So some people will use good citizenship as Bible. Some will use, social studies. But see, it's kind of tricky because if in school, in the public school, you're looking at what they're giving them. They're learning about government and all that kind of jazz. So it's kind of, you know, it's up in there. But there's a lot of things that we don't even have to mess with. And I don't try to, because there's too many kids for me to have to do all of that. If I can't, there's a lot of things I need to be able to combine. Did I say science? No, we don't even have to teach science. Do we have science? Yes, my kids like science. I work in science maybe once a week, twice a week. They have their field. Am I stressing over it? No. My kids like art. Do we have to teach art? No. Do they teach art in the public school? Yes. I go on what they really like, what they can handle. Same thing with music.
Look like that.
Oh, very nice. I like that leaf.
I want you to print it.
You want me to print it out? You want me to laminate it? Okay, I will laminate it. But yeah, you have to, follow with the state. And I see a lot of people on here, they don't even, I'm looking at the curriculum and then I'm looking up what their state required. They don't even read. It's like, you're not even keeping to your own state regulations. You have to do that if they're requiring you to teach a certain amount of hours and days and things like that. They're not even adhering to that. Well, I was wondering what was wrong. Faith Family Fun Academy says I teach the states and capitals, but slowly. Yeah, some kids can pick up on that. Let me tell you, I was in middle school and we didn't, we learned geography and we did map work like around the 6th grade, that I can remember having to color the maps and label the maps, all of that. 7th grade, we had to learn memorize the capitals and all of that. Child, half my friends couldn't do that mess. And yeah, I'm about to say this in public. I said it before. I would take their test for them. I finished, and because I had a photographic memory, so that stuff was easy. So I finished my test, and they would be passing their papers back to me, and I just, everybody got an A. because they couldn't, so some kids can't even do that stuff. So it's like, no, I don't know any employer that goes to interview you and say, what's the capital of Kansas? It just doesn't happen. Or what age did you learn how to read? I've never, do you know how to read? They don't ask you when and what method you learned. So, not exactly, but my example, like for each subject, yes, I would slow down her master each item. Overwhelming kind of, yeah. You want to make sure that they are actually mastering what you are teaching them, because a lot of times people are moving so fast. Nobody says you have to progress every year. This is homeschool. If you go 9 months of schooling and you factor in all the days that you have to take off, whether somebody's sick or, emergency or what have you, because we can do that, you miss out a lot of time. It could be behavior issues. Your child might not be ready to go on to the next grade come that fall. Stay in the same grade. Nobody says you have to go buy new books because you didn't finish those books and it's the new year. Keep using the same material. Keep using it. A lot of this stuff in these grades, this curriculum, yes, it's going to be graded, grade levels, but don't worry about that. That just limits you. If you're homeschooler and you gear around homeschool, that's why I show you guys. When I show you, it looks like a whole lot of stuff, but I had to figure out. One year we ran out of stuff in December. Because we homeschool every day, because the kids don't watch TV, there's a lot of free time that I have to fill gaps for. And I didn't have anything, so I was trying to fill in gaps for things, and I figured out last time when I bought stuff, not this year, a year before, that I had like maybe 2 of each thing, and I kind of did that a little bit this year, because I knew there would be a huge amount of time. We can finish school in a half a year. Really, we can finish a grade in half a year at the rate that they work. And so I said to myself, okay, they're picking it up. They're fine. They're moving. I'm not trying to compete with anybody, but what do we do for the rest of the year once they finish this book? And we honestly go page for page. So I was getting other things and I stagger it. So where we leave off on one curriculum, we finish it, and then I open up the next one for this half of the year. So, but for some people, they don't even get through some books we just don't even get through. It just, things happen. We moved, so we lost a lot of time during the move because I had to pack stuff up, then I had to unpack it, so we lost some time there. They were still working through their math once we got here, and we didn't transition until September. So they were still, doing the other grade level, but that's fine. I gave them other stuff, and honestly, that book was a little more fast paced. There was some second grade in it, even though it was first grade. So don't worry about that stuff. Let's see. I don't move on. Okay. A. Blackwell says, thanks. I think I'm trying hard. I'm trying to make it harder than it is. Yep, that's what happens a lot. I was doing that so much, and it just was like, wait a minute. I'm making this harder than it is. Okay? I don't know. You start overthinking things. Don't make it harder than it is. Don't make it harder than it is. Like I was telling the kids, I have to do the update on their math curriculum. Now, we got this thing in September. They went hard in this book. The only thing I had not taught them, they had been introduced all along to multiplication and division. They had already done some fractions. They know about fractions, okay? So in the second grade, that's pretty much all you do, okay? You get sharper on your money skills, but multiplication and division are the new things. Well, guess what? They already mastered that. Whether or not we're going to continue with the book, well, we're going to continue with the book because I could have ditched the book by now. They finished that already. They finished that last year. It didn't take them but that unit to master that multiplication and division, because once they understood they had already been introduced to it, they got it. What's next? They have more 2-digit edition, which I had introduced them to while we were waiting for this new book to come out. 3-digit number edition, and then the 3-digit, both rows, that type of edition. That's what second grade is about. If they know how to add 2 numbers, they can add 3, 6 just as fine. They're going to get it. So really, there's nothing else left. We're just doing it just to do it so they can finish the book, but they don't have that much left in that book. I'm going to let them finish that math book, and then I'm contemplating. I love the book. I have no problems. The money is not a problem, but third grade is still kind of a repeat of second grade. So I'm thinking, do I really need to get third grade? I would like to have it to show you all, but honestly, the concepts are the same. The only new thing that they would need to learn is fractions. They learn the basis of fractions, so then we're moving up to fractions. Then we're moving into long division, in the multiplying of the double-digit numbers. So I can really do that without a curriculum if I wanted to. There's no rhyme or reason. Let's see. What does it say? One of my daughters learns better through song, so I try to make songs for her. And she understands the work. What type of learner? That is auditory. That's an auditory learner. Being set free. Yeah, that's auditory. Love for all. My daughter enjoys learning through songs too. I make some things silly for her so she can master. Yeah, that's this one over here. She got the wood alphabet blocks out the closet now. But she loves songs. And yes, for those of you watching, was it yesterday? Yeah, because she wasn't in here this morning. She did do her French class. That's what she was waiting on yesterday when I was doing the book haul. She did her French class. She read too. She read two of her little books. Not the big heavy ones. She did read her books. Vicky says that's a great idea. Being set free, auditory learner. Yeah, I have one like that. Yeah, I have one that's auditory too. One that's partial auditory. So songs really get them. I have to turn music down if it's, I'm vlogging or whatever, but music really gets them. Just music in general. Certain type of music. My other one loves books. She can do a workbook for hours. Yeah. I have checked into HSLDA. Thanks for the info. This is my first year. Yes, HSLDA is great. You don't have to have a paid membership to access a lot of that information. There are different benefits. They will have forums and things like that when you own, you pay for the membership. A lot of people in, far out places, it's kind of like a retainer for an attorney. Some people have actually needed that, and that's what it's for. You also get membership discounts to like museums and hotels and things like that, holding that paid membership. But they offer so much because they know that people need that information. So don't be discouraged, if you cannot get the the paid membership. I shared the transcripts and the things like that. All of that is free. So you don't have to, you can take advantage of that for free. Amen. 3 and done. I think the most funniest thing to me is when they called my mother and told her I couldn't read, and that my mom just looked at them and said she can read. The teacher never paid any attention. Teachers just They will overlook everybody. Faith Family Fun Academy says, I have a son who is ADHD, and he is supposed to be in 5th grade, but in 3rd. I want him to be in 5th, but I'd rather him master it and take his time. I was just getting to the point of realizing it. Oh, she is so cute. Thank you. Oh, yes, yes. You don't, do not push this child just because they are homeschooled, and yes, they may excel faster. Like I said, we can really go through 2 grades a 365-day year. You will not see me promoting that on here. I'm not doing it. Are they ready? Maybe in a few years, but there are things that they really, really need to know. It's a lot of things that I do with them, and I don't see anybody else doing it. And it's like, did you really spend all that time on pronouns and things like that? Because when I see later on papers being written or not, because I don't see a lot of that. Some people don't even share the handwriting they caught on to. A lot of people caught on to that. People were talking about them. The kids is poor handwriting. Yeah. You moved on to cursive and they can't even print. Job application is in print. College application is in print. Home loan is in print. But you want to move them on to cursive, they can't even print. So it's little things like that. I don't move them too fast. I do not move them too fast. If they can read the stuff and they can comprehend it and they can show me proficiently, then okay, let's move on. Let's keep it moving. Books I showed you guys in the hall, yeah, some of them books they can read on their own, and they are, like I said, 8 to 12 years old. Well, they're going to be 8 this year, but they're able to read those books and understand with no supervision. They can do it. Some kids their age are not able. They're still in little bitty, the little bitty step into reading books, and that's fine. Every child is different. Like I said, my kids spent a lot of time with reading. There was no TV. That's the reason why they're so far. They didn't have any. There was no TV here. Okay, I always stress that, no TV. So they had nothing else to do but read. Mommy share space. Yeah, we got behind after moving. I totally slowed everything down working on editing. That video I listened to you. LOL. Oh, you all, if you are not following Mommy Share Space, you can on the side, and this is for everybody that's in here. You can check and see if they have a channel. I just love. The girls. The little girls are just. They're small, and those little kids are smart, y'all. My kid. Yeah, I'm not gonna brag on my kids, but her kids are like my kids. And so it's like, I know I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm not showboating. Her little kids are small, and they're reading and they're writing and they're, telling her all kinds of things. And it's like, look at these little kids. And they got the poetry down and just all kinds of stuff. But go on the side of the comment to click the 3 dots. You can still listen to the chat. And, I see your house. But, yeah. And my kids love watching her kids. Oh, yes, I've seen her kids. Yeah. Just the cutest little, yeah. And so that's why I say I like your channel, because it's a standout to me. I really, even though your kids are younger than mine, I do learn. I take, it's so relaxing, to just see a parent that really, really cares. And, there's no fluff. That's what I love about that. There's no fluff on your channel. It's like somebody honestly spending the time. I see the time and the effort that goes into your kids. It just, it makes a difference. Sorry, I had to sign out and sign back in. That's okay. And so, some people over here, they come over here and they think I'm just trying to showboat somebody. I'm not. I'm just showing you that it takes time to do this. It takes time. It's trial and error. Mind you, I have all these kids, not these 4 that you see, okay? It's 5 more above them. So, this has been 20 years that I had to learn all of this. Oh my goodness, thank you. I appreciate your comment. I have no idea. Girl, yes, really. It's just so, yeah. When you hear people say, I'm living for your videos, I really look forward to watching you because it's just like, I can relate. So, yeah. Many of you, it's just something I can draw out, of your videos, and that's why I watch you. I'm not drawn because you're big or because you have all this stuff and it looks not, you might not have it in nothing but a desk and a chair. I don't care. As long as I can really see where your interest is and how that child is thriving and I see progress, that's what I love. That's what I love. When you all are watching these videos, I cannot stress enough. It's good to see the things, that's in the store and all of that, but you really want to pay attention to that child, how that child is progressing, okay, with that curriculum. Did that child really learn anything? Did they grow? And I come back full circles. Some naysayer try to prove this. You never prove anything. I am one of the few people that prove to you all the time. Not because I need to prove myself. I don't need to prove myself to anybody, but you guys know I always follow up with everything I do because that's just how I vlog. Yes, it may be long. Yes, it may be in detail, but I want to show you as best as I can that this is how I got from point A to point B. You're not going to see point A and point Z. It's real easy to vlog point A and point Z, but what happened in the middle? Because there was some fallout. There was some curriculum thrown out. There was some this. There was some that. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to tell you that this curriculum did not grow them. It did not do what I needed or what I expected. I'm going to show you that. A lot of people will not show all of that. Thank you, love, for all. Mommy Share Space says, Faith Family. Fun Academy says, I have cut down a lot. Cut down on TV a lot. Only educational and the weekends only. I tried it for a week with no TV and it was a big difference. Okay, y'all, there it is there. It's not just me talking, Hey, Blackwell, thank you for spending time on my question and sharing your knowledge. Me too. I'm here. So as long as you're asking me questions, I'm going to respond. I had the screenshot from the last one to make sure, and then I wrote it down to make sure I caught it. But hopefully I addressed it enough, and everybody else was able to offer up some insight to help you out. But yeah, you just don't overthink it. What you are doing 9 times out of 10 is the best thing for your child. Do not put too much thought into it. When you start overthinking, you come up with the worst scenarios. If I start, letting that little doubt creep in, like somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago, do I ever feel like I'm not doing enough? No. I see what my kids are doing. I see how they're progressing. They didn't know pronouns and nouns. Now they know what pronouns and nouns and adjectives, and they know how to write that in a paper, So we've progressed. Some kids, they can do that quickly. Some kids, it takes a long time to do that. So don't beat yourself up because you see so-and-so's kids, because 9 times out of 10, they might not have taught that child some things that they need to know, and then they don't know until later on. I mean, an old lady, let me go back to this. Love for All says, a lot of times you never see what the child has done. They only tell you what they, yeah. Yeah. And see, that's what I come on here for, because I want to see, how is this actually working? And a lot of times people don't, it's not their fault. It's they don't think, and they think nobody's paying attention to that. But there are people actually looking for that. They want to see how that child is actually, we can pick up things. It's like when you're vlogging through a camera. A lot of people don't really pay attention. Like when I caught the child coming in the other day with the shirt off. There's little bitty things. I can catch people with their camera angled. Girls, they got legs open, and I'm like, my goodness. Because you were so honed in on vlogging, you weren't paying attention to that little minute detail. We, as a viewer, can see the misspelled words, the punctuation being wrong, the letters being not to scale. Not that that's a bad thing, but we pick up more than what you're vlogging. You don't see all of that and I've learned to really pay attention. Very rarely I caught myself, okay, I'm in frame to something I don't want to show you. Okay, so let me bring it back. I pay very close attention. Some people don't, they can't do that. And but that's what we want. We want to see those little bitty details. Share those things. If it's for a reason, okay, then don't do it. Like I have another book haul. This book haul should have come before the one I showed yesterday, but I didn't. But when I shared the video the day before of the shopping of the books, if you were careful, you saw something on that shelf that is new. I'm not going to go back and point it out because I'm going to do the haul, but it wasn't intentional. But I caught it when I was editing, and I just didn't go back and fix it. So yeah, a lot of times they just show you what they use, and that's it. They don't know how to, really bring it. I mean, an old lady in the library who had 4 kids, no TV. She said 3 days a week in the library, and they all have become successful. 2 doctors, 1 lawyer, a pharmacy. Wow, yeah. Mommy Share Space says, and that's why I watch you to learn. I told my hubby something about you I can relate to. Everyone comes from different experience, and I want to learn how you do it. I struggle with 3. Yeah, it's a struggle. 1, 2, 3, 5. It's a struggle. A Blackwell says, oops, not me too's. LOL. Supposed to be tips. Okay. Got you. Faith Family Fun Academy. I admire you, and all of my goals is to do away with TV this year. I find myself reading more and less TV. Yeah, I just, I can't, it's something you have to experience for yourself. If people have withdrawals, I get all of that, but in the long run, I just don't have time, because I know I was a slave to the TV. I didn't, a lot of times didn't, in the beginning, the early days, I didn't have anything to do, nobody to talk to, so I was watching TV. But that gets old after a while. It's like, how much TV can you watch? So I just learned to just do without it. And, and we were talking about that in this thing and putting this computer together. There's a TV card in the computer. Do I know how to use it? No. He know how to use it. I don't know. I said, what'd you put this in my computer for? Well, you may want to watch TV. So, and you'll hear me say, I don't know how to work this thing. I just know how to make it do what it does. There's a TV card in my computer. So, like, click this and learn how to do it. And as long as I've had this one, it's been over a year. There are things that I learn about this thing every day. Just new things. But some things I can live without. Mama Sheer Space is off topic. My native twang slips into English, so sometimes when I'm trying to do videos, I'm afraid to upload them. Girl, no, everybody speaks a different language. I have to catch myself sometimes because I am multilingual, and if I'm talking so fast, which I try to speed stuff up, and I do this to the kids. I will say one thing in English, one thing in Spanish, one thing in German, one thing in French, maybe something in Arabic, all in the same sentence. And they looking at me like, what? So don't worry about that, that dialect is going to come out. It will. Nobody should be judging you on that. I say y'all, I'm in Texas. Y'all, you know. Um, for the most part, I'm not I don't do Ebonics, but if you have native tongues and you live in different parts of different countries of the United States or the world or whatever, yes, your dialect is going to come out. So, yeah, and that's what I like that. Thank you. I will try to catch you on the next time. Hope things work out quickly for your computer situation. All right. Thank you. And like I said, hopefully I answered. I'm always here. The email is in the vlogs. It's, accessible on the page. You can message me. Just, leave a comment. Whatever question you have, um, I will do my best to answer it. Bring it up here so that you can see, excuse me, hear from other people and not just myself. Look at this rain. It's a mess. That way they can, because everybody does things differently. LOL, upload is fine with me. LOL, thank you. Yes. Yeah. And I hear that a lot. I can, when people are talking, it's just very interesting. You hear those dialects coming out. But, yeah, I don't think anybody should look the other way, because of something small like that. It's worse when it's grammar and you're typing. Because I had to put it out there. If you type in something, at least you want it to have it grammatically correct. So, yeah. You are very helpful. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you. Again, thank you. Like I said, some of your questions may be questions that other people here had and just did not ask. Um, and I'm still going I'm going to come back tomorrow and talk about the whole curriculum thing. I want to talk about what makes you choose the curriculum that you choose. What are the factors that, lead you to that curriculum? So that'll be morning chat. Some of those things that people, it may help somebody else because they may not think of that. Something they should look out for. They may not think of that.
Can we make this
You can make that. Glad y'all came in because it is cool. So yeah, that may definitely help. I have to leave for a bit. Family emergency. Oh no, but not really. I hope everybody is okay. 3 and done. Um, yeah, definitely. You don't want to overthink things. You don't want to you don't want to rush the kids through things. There's just, man, there's simply not enough hours in the day around here to teach every single thing by the book. I would never leave this room. And, yeah, I wouldn't leave the room. Especially, going through 4 times just with these little ones and then the other ones. And if somebody doesn't get something, the first time, which is fine, happens a lot. But think about that. Really think, People are showing you most likely end results. They're not showing you the work, the front end. They're showing you the back end in these vlogs. They make it look all pretty. And it just, they don't tell you about, oh, I fell into depression while this happened.
Mom, can you clip the skin
off? Yeah, just that will happen. Where's the skin? I don't.
here.
Oh, let me see it. Mm-mm. I'm gonna tell you how many tears were shed. While this picture that you are viewing on Instagram, how many tears were shed before that picture was captured. How many times they had to put the camera down before they actually could pick it up and vlog. How many edits they had to do to show you what they're showing you. Nobody talks about that. So, but if it's bad, I'm gonna tell you it's bad. But I'm going to tell you because, like I was telling somebody the other day, I left you guys with that little nugget about praying. The first thing you want to do is pray when I hear people say, "Oh, I had a bad day." The kids had a bad day. School was hard. So I went to go pray. You're on the right track. You had to pray, but the thing is, you should have been praying when you got up that morning, whether it was good or bad. See, you don't know if it's going to be a good day. Well, sometimes you can, kind of gauge it. You can gauge it's going to be a bad day, really. I might wake up with a migraine. So, you know, those type of things. If you don't get enough sleep, you're probably going to have a bad day. But the point is, you're supposed to be praying when you get up out the bed, not when things hit the fan. And so, you want to pray. When you're in school, you want to pray through those good days. You want to capture those good days, but you also want to capture those bad days, those bad times, so that you can remind yourself that you overcame something. Because you're so busy looking at the good, you forget the bad, and then when something else bad happens, you act like it's the end of the world. We thought my aunt was missing. Oh my goodness, but she was asleep, and her doorman wouldn't let us in her apartment because he was in there asleep. Oh my goodness. 3 and done. Oh wow. Wow. Oh, I'm so glad she's okay too. That is scary. So yeah, you want to,
Aaliyah wants to eat the pumpkin farmers because I told him. Because he wants me to have a little bag.
You all have to share that.
I need a little bowl.
Go talk to your dad.
And we're watching a movie, and she thinks while we're watching the movie, she can eat it all.
Go talk to him. Tell him about it. I'm getting ready to get off here anyway, but go talk to him. Mm-mm-mm. Man. Oh my goodness. But yeah, you want to, those types of situations where you uh, highlight the good. You just, you go into panic when something bad happens. And go talk to your dad. Those things will lead you to feel, you're doing, you're overthinking things. But yeah, I always remember the struggle because that is really, those are the times that really help. So, anyway, let's see if there's anything else on here. Nope, I didn't write anything else. I'll address this question tomorrow. Let's see. Mommy share space. Okay, A Black Whale says you are very helpful. I really appreciate it. Mommy share space. Yes, she is a Black Whale. Yeah. I just, the chats are really, really engaging to me as well. I said, I just, like to kind of help where I can. I'm not I'm not a I don't, I'm just like you all. I don't know everything, but if I can fill a gap or something, offer something, then that's what I'm going to do. You know, I have the same questions a lot of times that you all have, and nobody addresses those questions. And it's like, man, I really just want, I wish you would just address this, or you would just address that. And it's like, if you ask them, they don't really understand, and and you have to get, okay, they haven't experienced it. They don't, they're not doing it this way. So I guess I'm not going to get the answer either way. And, unfortunately, that does happen. But, I always ask you all, if there are questions, I will definitely ask.
Can you watch her popcorn?
Why?
Aaliyah got some and she wants to eat all.
What do you want me to do with this in here? Here, pull that closed just a little bit for me. But what do you want me to do with this?
Can you watch it so she doesn't eat ours?
Watch it where? Take it out of here. I don't want it. Take it to your dad.
They're eating it all. No. This is all
You want me in the middle of every little thing. Goodness. She's doing that little whiny cry. So, am I ignoring her? Yes. She's tired. Hi, Cynthia. I'm glad you jumped in. I'm just listening to the situation. I'm going to have to deal with her. So what do you want me to do with this? What is the problem? You have a bowl, so what's the problem?
I want it in this bowl.
Where do you want it?
I want it in the big bowl.
First of all, take a little bit of bass out your voice. Don't yell at me. Is the big bowl clean?
Yeah.
If the big bowl is clean, ask for Layla to get the big bowl. If it is not, then you cannot get it. Okay?
So wait to using it.
What
no,
did you
here. Put it in here.
Put it in there. Keep it moving.
You can put the bowl in there so it doesn't spill. Because that's too much.
Take it to the table and then put it in there.
I don't want it to dead. Okay.
See what I have to deal with.
I'm
This is real life.
Wait. There.
I'm too old for this, girl.
Hold it like this. Hold it like that. Not yet.
And so you're saying A to B, not A to Z. Boy. I'm late. I've been cleaning and cooking. That's a good thing. What time will your live be in the morning? What time have I been coming? Like 8:30? Somewhere 8:30. Yeah. 8:45-ish. I will try to start that one. I don't know. Is that working for you all? Does anybody want an afternoon chat? This one, like I said, is going to be about curriculum and what helps you decide what to pick. LOL, real life. We're whispering, help me. Yes, girl. Yes, help me. Yeah. And some days it's like all of them want to have an issue. The other one to start. It's like a chain reaction. It's like, hold up, everybody, get out of this room. I just start sending them to different areas because if not, I'm going to explode. You got to go. You go over here. You go over here. You go over here. Give me 5 minutes because if I say something to you right now, you might not like me. And that's how I do it. So I can calm down, because you know your first reaction is, God forbid, you know, I know y'all spank kids, but that's the first reaction. Somebody outright said, I'm going to whoop your behind. You know, that's what you get to yelling. No, you give me 5 minutes. Get out of this room. And I do that to the older kids. Leave. I need 5 minutes. Or I'm going to the bathroom. I'm locking the door. You know, I need a timeout. That's what I tell them. So, because they will work your nerves. I'm telling you, they will work your nerves. You know, I'm mid-40s. I can't handle all that. That's the first reaction. You see their dad is not even trying to touch it. He just like, yeah, you don't have to work that out on your own.
They have the bag in the room.
Okay, go in there and get the bag. See, she
My
just.
dad won't let me.
Well, apparently he know what to do because he's the parent.
Because
So.
I want him to eat the popcorn in the living room.
Okay, well go talk to your dad about it.
What did you say?
Talk to your dad about it.
I'm dead.
Well, you have to do what he says. She can't hear me laughing, y'all, but yeah. The girl is off the chain.
What did you say?
I said go talk to him about it, Aaliyah.
No.
Okay.
I'm dead.
No. And what did he tell you?
He told me not to get the bat.
Okay. Go into the living room and have a seat. You like the mornings. I know. She never satisfied with any answer. That's why she keep asking me, what did I say? She's just trying to find a reason to whine. Ain't nothing wrong with her, y'all. But I know some of y'all, it'll drive you crazy. And you just, you know, I know. Okay, I know. So you can either let it drive you crazy or you can pick and choose your battles. You know, some things I give immediate attention to, and some it's like, you know what? You need to remove yourself from my presence. Because I'm going to just get up and leave. I have a Bella Rose, I understand. Oh, boy. Amen. Amen. Okay. They want the bowl to watch the movie. You had a small bowl.
I don't want them to watch
Well, you can't.
movie.
You cannot tell them what you want them to do or not to do. Okay? If they want to watch it, they're going to watch it. Now, you need to go in there with them since you wanted to put yours in the bowl with there. Well, that's because you're crying. If you stop crying, you can go in there. You're disrupting everybody in the house. That's the problem. Now, Zai. There's enough room for everybody, Leah. Go in the room. Stop crying, and then you can go in the room. Well, then you're just going to have to be by yourself. Yes, because you are crying and nobody can hear. Okay? Stop crying and so that everybody can hear you. Okay. Yeah, seem to ignore the kid. Yeah, and he, you know, he I don't even want to touch that, but he won't even touch it. You see what I'm dealing with. Okay. He won't change it. Oh, this is so real life. So real life moments. Oh boy. She getting on everybody's nerves. Get in here. And so mornings seem to work. So I'll probably come back on in the morning with that. That way everybody can pop on. I don't know. Am I too early? Do I need to offset the time by, an hour or what? Because I know 8 o'clock or 8:30 here is 7:30 West Coast, 9:30 East Coast. So I don't know, would 9 o'clock be better? Would 9:30 be better? That's still morning. All the way up until 11 o'clock, I think it's morning. Men have selective hearing, baby. I got selective hearing too. I sure do. Yeah, they do have really selective hearing. See, I will mediate. He won't mediate. I'll mediate a situation. Okay. But when they get like that, it's like you have to leave. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So, anyway. Everybody's being unreasonable to her. But, honestly, if I was doing something that, I was important and I asked her to leave and she told me no, I would have already shut this down. Because there's no, you're not going to tell me no. She knows if my no is a no or, you're not going to do this. She is clearly aggravated. And so she'll go to everybody she can and aggravate them until they tell her the same thing I told her. Leave me alone. So, anywho, we could have a reality show. There's so much stuff going on. All right, so I will set up in the morning, and I'll try to come in at, like I said, about 8:30, since that seems to work for everybody. And you can come in and listen to what you have. I try to take some notes if I can, and remember, maybe put some things in the comments for those that miss it. And, because a lot of times it's that dialogue. I try to make sure to read all the comments, but sometimes you miss the dialogue when you're just watching the replay. And, it's something important. Is that Zion? Girl, no, that's Leah. That is Leah doing all of that foolishness. I told you that's the one that's just, that girl is so strong-willed. It's just like, So it's date night. Have fun. Have fun. Thank you for stopping by. So, but let me get in here because I know I'm gonna hear all kind of in the comments. Oh, okay. I'm coming to help you out. Will you be quiet for just a second though? He's not. Okay. And see, it's no tears at all. She's just whining. If you stop, can you be quiet for a minute and then you can come in here and talk to me? Oh, so I'm being unreasonable, so you want to tell me no. All right, y'all. Let me shut this down and go deal with her. Thank you. I will see you all in the morning.